Hello and welcome back to my channel. So we've gone through all of the rookies for 2021, so I decided that the best thing to do next would be to go through my predictions for the season. Yeah, the likelihood that I'm going to get these wrong is really high because I am not known for being able to predict race winners and world champions and whatnot, but I thought that this would be a good start to the year to look at who exceeds my expectations and who doesn't, to say it nicely. So if you want to find out who I am backing for 2021, stay tuned and keep watching. So first up we have the lightweight category of Moto3. Moto3 is really hard to actually predict because it is so unpredictable. I mean, there are tons of races where you can watch them back and see that the lead group has been made up of 15 or more riders. So actually being able to predict the world champion is going to be really difficult, but I thought I'd give it a shot. So this year for Moto3, I think that the top three guys are probably going to be John McPhee, Tatsuki Suzuki, and Gabriel Rodrigo, maybe? So if you have been watching Twitter and seen the testing results, you will have noticed that Tatsuki Suzuki isn't actually riding at the moment. So he has actually been diagnosed with COVID, so he will be sitting out the first couple of races, or at the very least will be sitting out Qatar. Whilst Paolo Simoncelli says that he doesn't believe that it's going to really play much of have much of an impact on his season, I'll be interested to see if it does. So yeah, I am fully backing John for the championship this year, mainly because he is one of the more experienced guys. He's with a team that he knows, he's with a team that he thrives with, and I think that this year is his year. Secondly, I am looking at Suzuki because I think that he really does gel so well with the 658 team, and I think this is, from his performance last year, I think that he's probably more likely to be fighting at the front than he has been over the last few years. And third, so Gabriel Rodrigo is a real head scratcher for me. Pardon the actual head scratching. He's such a good rider when he can stay on the bike. So I realise I'm taking quite the gamble by putting him in third, but yeah, I'm having a bit of faith in Gabri this year to stay on the bike and to actually get some decent points and to maybe get that first victory. Who knows? I think that with Moto3 it's so hard to predict that you don't know where to start. And there's been so many movements this year. I mean, we lost Sky as a Moto3 team, got so many chops and changes, so many new people coming in. It's going to be really difficult to actually predict accurately who could be a world champion, but we'll just wait and see. As for Rookie of the Year, I'm going to go with Ethan Guevara. So far in testing he's been absolutely amazing. Like, completely blew my mind with how good and how well he has taken to that bike. So yeah, I'm going to put my money on him and hope he doesn't let me down. Next up is the intermediate class of Moto2. So this is slightly easier in that there weren't actually that many people that moved up from Moto2 into MotoGP last year, so there are a lot of the main players from 2020 who are still in the 2021 season. So, without further ado, my picks are Sam Lowes, Marco Bezzecchi, and Joe Roberts. So I'm tipping Sam Lowes to be our championship favourite. Could be risky, But I think Sam's performance last year, he really started to come into his own, really started to get along with the Mark VDS bike as the season went on. So going into it where he already knows the team, he's settled with them, and he's got the confidence of his performance at the back end of last year, I think that he could be really I think we could be really onto a winner there. He just needs to, for one, stay on the bike. He did have the habit of crashing quite a lot in the past. However, in 2020 he seemed to get a bit of a lid on that. He also needs to be careful of the new youngsters, because a lot of the rookies that are coming in this year are from Moto3 and are really incredible but aggressive riders. So it could be interesting to see what happens there. Lowe's is my definite favourite for 2021. Second, I am gonna put Marco Bezzecchi. I would love to say Bez for championship favourite. I love Bez. He's literally one of my favourite riders in the entire world and one of my favourite people on the paddock. I'm just not 100% sure how he's gonna do this year. I'm just not 100% sure if he will be able to fight off Sam Lowe's all year to be able to get that victory. I think the Lowe's and Bez fight was probably going to be very much a Bez and Martin 2018 Moto3 World Championship fight, in that it's like all or nothing. Win it or bin it for both of them. Except I think that Sam has a slightly stronger mentality than Marco to be able to actually keep his emotions in check. However, they did have a little bit of an incident, so the pair of them can get a bit hot under the collar. They had that incident last year when there was a little bit of pushing and shoving on track, and I made some threats against Sam Lowe's. Not serious threats, I would like to point out, but I did mention throwing hands if he laid a hand on Marco again. But anyway, yeah, I'm really interested to see how Marco gets along with Celestino Vietti as his teammate. I know they are really good friends, so I'm wondering if their little friendship and how well they get along could actually benefit both of them for the season, and if they can just learn off each other and give each other that extra boost. Here's hoping. And finally, I have Joe Roberts. Also another risky one. Joe going into Ital Trans, they are obviously the world champions at the moment with Enea Bastianini. Joe has proved that he could get that American racing bike at the front row. He's proved what he proved last year. What a great racer he was when he did manage to get the American racing bike to pole position and onto the podium. I'm just hoping that when he goes into Ital Trans, he can really get along with the team and he can really click with the bike. I hope it's not just back to square one where he has to like do it all again, learn it all again, and find his feet with a completely new team, with a completely new bike. I'm just really hoping that testing is going to give him a boost and a chance to really focus on getting to know that bike and that team. Yeah, I think my Moto2 prediction's slightly better than my Moto3 ones. I mean, it's slightly less unpredictable than Moto3. However, very little that's more unpredictable than Moto3. As for Moto2 rookie, I'm going to go with Raul Fernandez. So I think that Raul's probably going to transition better from Moto3 into Moto2 because he is sticking with the Red Bull KTM IO outfit. He already knows the people in the team, he already knows the structure of the team, and he's really taken to that bike like ducked water. I wouldn't be surprised if he was on the podium at some point later this year. I really hope he is, because he is actually one of my favourite people. So between him and Bez, it's going to be really difficult for me this year. And I've probably said that and got myself banned from the Aspar garage, because I also support Albert Arenas. It's going to be a very difficult year for people I support, or for me and people I support this year. Hopefully, Raul doesn't let me down. He doesn't usually. But I am going to put my money on him for being my Moto2 Rookie of the Year. And last but not least, we have MotoGP. The MotoGP is going to be a bit of a weird one, because we've obviously got Mark coming back, we've got Joan Mir as the new world champion. So whilst Mir is the reigning world champion, I am actually probably going to not put him as my number one pick, which probably isn't going to go down well with a lot of people. So my picks for the year are going to be Franco Morbidelli, Maverick Vinales, and Joan Mir, in that order. So I feel really bad not putting Joan as my favourite for the year. I think Frankie showed last year how incredible he can be. Some of the incidents that happened with the likes of that crash with Zarco really did knock his chance of being able to get more points. But I think that if he can keep his nose clean for the entire year, if he can avoid getting taken out by people, obviously that's easier said than done, especially in MotoGP. But I think that he's in for a real shot of being world champion this year, and especially when he's got someone like Valentino Rossi, who's going to be his teammate for the year at Petronas. Someone he looks up to, who he trains with, who he is really good friends with. I think that that will give him the extra boost to be able to maybe reach that point of being world champion, which I would love to see. Love it. Second I have put Maverick Vinales. So Maverick's a little bit of an odd one for me, because he's so talented. He's so fast. But obviously last year he was involved in a couple of those horrific crashes, some horrific moments. But he can be very hit and miss. Obviously part of that is down to his bike. I'm just really hoping that this news of his recent marriage and the fact that he's got a daughter on the way is going to give him that additional boost that he needs, because he has been so close in the past to being one of the title favourites, and it's just kind of fallen away. He's just almost fallen at the last hurdle. So I would be over the moon to see Maverick fighting at the front again, and being on the top step and just being back to his old ways but I think a lot of it is down to his mentality, and when he's in a good place and he's happy and he feels confident, then he does well. And when he's not, his results reflect it. So I'm really hoping that the fact that he's so settled and he's got this little family base now, that he can get back into that really happy, confident, successful Maverick. So he is my vice champion pick. And thirdly, Joan Mir. I think this is hard. I would love to see Joan fighting at the front and defending his world title. I just think that a lot of the grid this year are coming into it even more, almost desperate to show what they can do. And especially with the big question mark being over Mark's head of whether he's going to be back, it gives them almost a little bit of breathing room to be able to get some points under their belt and kick off their world championship fight for the year. So I think if Joan can actually, for the first couple of races, manage to get some good results, get some good points, then it will put him in a better frame of mind to be able to move forward and be in for the chance of defending his world title. But I also think that he's such a sweet guy, and I haven't really seen that killer instinct really from him yet. I could be totally wrong, and he could come into it and into this year and be like, I need to defend this, go hell for leather, and just be right at the front, right at the top, defending and showing exactly why he is the reigning world champion. But who knows? I think last year proved we have no idea what's going to happen. But that is my MotoGP predictions, unfortunately for some. As for my MotoGP Rookie of the Year, I am going to have to say Jorge Martin. He's with a great team. He's with a very experienced teammate. That bike has proved that it can be on the podium, fighting at the front. After maybe a couple of races getting used to it, I think that Martin's gonna be fighting in the points, at the very least. So that is it for my 2021 predictions. I know a lot of people will not agree with me for a lot of them, so obviously if you don't, remember to drop a comment down below on who you think is going to be where and in what category. And if you are enjoying my videos, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe down below as well. I'm going to try and get another video out next week. However, F1 season does also start, so I am going to be working all of next weekend. So video may be slightly delayed. However, I will get a new one out to you as soon as possible. Until then, bye!